Since I started testing off-road LED lights 3 years ago, there seemed to be a new kind of lens and reflector on the market. I have always been curious of how it does compared to conventional reflector and lens setup. Today I've got a pair of spotlights from Borne Off-Road by Mishimoto. I'm going to unbox them, measure the output on my garage door in terms of amp and lux, and then bring it out to the field to show you how they look in the real world setup. Let's get started. One thing I have noticed from using Mishimoto lights before is that it's got the superior packaging quality. Everything's sealed in the bag and very well packaged. Similar to its 7-inch bigger brother, which I've tested earlier this year, the 3-inch pod from Borne Off-Road also has a bezel-less design. And the shape of the reflector is definitely not conventional. Instead of individual cone shape, this one is like a quarter of a cone or half of the cone for each LED dial, which is an interesting design. I have definitely seen more designs like this popping out on the market. Here's some specs for the single pod if you're interested. And of course I'm going to measure the amp drawn and the lux measurement myself. Mishimoto is also kind enough to include a bolt cover for the bolts on the side of the light where it mounts the light to the bracket. However, personally I think it doesn't really work that well because the material of the cover is plastic and that link is very easy to be broken off. And in fact, when I tried to put mine on, I already broke one. And then the second one, I just wanted to see how easy it is to break it off, and it just comes right off. I don't know if it's designed for that link to stay or to be broken off, and then cap it. Either way, it's a nice touch. However, I just don't find it to be that useful. Alright, now let's come outside of the driveway to measure the current draw and the lux output at about 20 feet away from the garage door. I'm measuring the lux output of the LED low beam from factory so that you have an idea how different it is from the factory LED low beam. 1469 lux. Please keep in mind that all the camera settings are set into manual mode so that you have a very consistent comparison between the lights. Now we have a single Mishimoto spotlight pod. Mishimoto 2924 lux. Here I'm just showing you the Baja Design Squadron Pro I have in factory amber. Just want to show you what the pattern looks like, and it's in combo beam pattern. And this is Mishimoto on top of the Baja Designs. The current draw for one single Mishimoto light pod is 3.13 amp, and assuming the voltage is 13 volt, it's calculated to be around 40.69 watts, which is very close to the manufacturer claimed 40 watt. Alright, now let's come to the field. I'm labeling any lights that's being turned on in the top right corner, so you know exactly what you're looking at. Again, I'm starting with Tacoma stock low and high beam, and then also my Dow Dynamics SS3 Pro fog light, so that you have a baseline to compare against. The Mishimoto 3-inch pods are in spot beam pattern, and as expected, they have pretty good amount of reach. The tree lines on the top of the picture is around 400 yards away. I know they're not in the same weight class, but just for comparison's sake, here I'm turning on my old-time favorite from Mishimoto Big Banger HXB light. This is just one single light pod. From the comparison, I think the spot from Mishimoto's 3-inch pods, 2 of them, is actually not bad, with a little less distance and a lot less focus down the range at 400 yards. However, at the price tag of $150, I believe these pairs makes a great spotlight. I have personally tested some other manufacturers' 3-inch pods before, and I don't think they're this bright, especially at 400 yards. I don't think they have any reach at 400 yards from other manufacturers' 3-inch pods. This is the Mishimoto. Right now we have the Mishimoto. Mishimoto. Baja Designs Squadron Pro Factory Amber. Plus Mishimoto. Low beam, high beam. Oh, and this is fog too. So pure low beam, high beam. Alright, I'm gonna show you what it looks like to drive around with it. Right now nothing's on. This is the Mishimoto. See the spotlight? I'll just turn this off so that you have an idea. So this is just the Mishimoto spot beam. Pretty nice. I say I'm making a round here so that you have an idea. Alright, so this is 2 pods, right, from Mishimoto. This is low beam. Mishimoto. Pretty obvious. High beam. Mishimoto. Baja Designs. And I'll just turn it off. Mishimoto. Morimoto. Baja Designs. Dynamics. Alright, one thing to note is that in this video, Mishimoto and Borne Off-Road are interchangeable names. I mostly call them Mishimotos because Borne Off-Road is part of the off-road department from Mishimoto. So after testing this pair of 3-inch light pods, I believe Mishimoto Borne Off-Road is doing something right for the smaller 3-inch light pod, because they're one of the brightest ones I've tested within 3-inch size. Especially at a higher output, 40 watts measured, this light surely delivers a lot for its size. Like I mentioned in the previous reviews of their 7-inch light, I really like the bezel-less design. It looks very clean and just different from most of the lights on the market. Mishimoto Borne Off-Road will also be sending me a pair of the same light as tested today, however in flood pattern. I am very curious of how the flood pattern does compared to the spot, and I'll show you guys the same test as I did today when I get the lights, so stay tuned for that. And that's it for today's testing, and if you liked the video, please comment, like, and subscribe for the algorithm. Thank you and have a good one.